Alright, so when you hear people talking about preparing for winter and getting ready for winter, they always talk about having a full pantry because if there's a winter storm and there's whiteout conditions or freezing rain or whatever it is, you're not going to be able to make it to a grocery store. Well, if you're not going to be able to make it to a grocery store, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to make it to a hospital either. And at the same time, during the winter, a lot of buildings burn down because the fire trucks can't get to your home or the place of business to put the fire out, and so they just burn down. Well, if a fire truck can't get to a burning building, there's a good chance an ambulance isn't going to be able to get to you either. And so having a fully stocked first aid slash pantry full of medical equipment, your medicine cabinet fully stocked, you're going to be able to withstand anything that could happen this coming winter. So I want to talk about some of the things that I think are important. We're going to start with the most common things that can happen all the way to the least common. But again, these are things that it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? And so the first thing I want to talk about is burn spray. There's a lot of people that when they're snowed in, right, we're getting feet of snow, the interstate's closed, the roads are closed, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, and so they're cooking. And they're not used to cooking, and they end up burning themselves on the stove, or they end up burning themselves. They're using a wood fireplace. If they have a wood fireplace inside their home, they try to start that up and they burn themselves. Having a good burn relief or a burn cream or burn spray or something that you can to get rid of that pain from the burns that you're going to get is a really good idea. The other thing is it's cold and flu season, right? Having Dayquil, NyQuil, medicines for that. Aspercream, ibuprofen, Tylenol, Aleve, whatever it is you're into. When you have to shovel a lot of snow, let's say your snowblower breaks down, you can't use your snowblower and you got to go out and shovel. It's really hard on the back, it's really hard on the shoulders, so having a way of maintaining that pain and inflammation is really nice. Again, cold and flu season, having a thermometer. These were popular in the last couple of years where you just put it on your temple. 98.0, I'm healthy. Having one of these, having a standard one that goes in your mouth or your armpit is kind of nice. Having one that doesn't rely on batteries might be a good idea. But being able to take somebody's temperature to make sure that, you know, if they're overheated or if they don't feel good but their temperature's normal, you know, it's not a cold or a flu. There's a lot of problems that you can deduce from somebody's temperature. The other thing is take your temperature right now. Okay, a lot of times my temperature is 97.4. Like that's usually what, when I'm healthy and feeling good, I got the lights and everything on me right now, which is probably making me warmer. But usually it's 97.4. And so when I have a 100-degree temperature, I'm not 2 degrees over, I'm 3 degrees over. And having that information can be important sometimes. The other thing is heating pads. So these are heating pads. My mom made these. They're just fabric with rice in them. So you put them in the microwave and you heat them up, and the longer you microwave it, the hotter it'll get. And then you can put it on a sore shoulder, or your lower back, or whatever it is. Here's a bigger one that you can put around your neck, or you can lay on it. Or if you're sick and you're freezing, you can heat it up and then put it in your blanket with you, and it'll help keep you warm. If you're not going to make your own, the hot water pads work exactly the same. You can put this on a shoulder, you can put it on the back of your neck, you can lay on it, you can put it on your stomach. Just heat is a good thing in the winter, so that's nice. Next is probably this right here. So this is a otoscope. If I can get it open. There we go. So this takes AAA batteries. It's a little light. You can look through it. Doctors use them all the time. This actually works really good for looking in the back of a throat. In the winter, the humidity is frozen, so everything is very dry. And so you end up with dry nose, dry throat, earaches. You can use this to look inside your throat and see if there's spots. Because if there's spots in the back of your throat, you know it's strep throat. It's not just a dry throat, but there's actually something wrong. This one's nice because it shows you the inside of different ears. And so if you have an earache and you look in it and it looks normal, you know it's nothing to worry about. But if it does look like it's infected, there are things you might want to do about that. So having a flashlight or an otoscope is a really nice thing to have. Jace medical antibiotics, having antibiotics on hand. These are prescription antibiotics. I'll leave a link to all this stuff in the description box down below. But if you look into this, there's a coupon code WOLFPACK10. Will get you $10 off a purchase of Jace medical antibiotics. So if you have an ear infection or you have some kind of infection that you can properly identify, you know without a shadow of a doubt that it does require antibiotics, you can use those if you can't get to a hospital. What should I go to next? Next, you take care of your teeth. A little dentist set. Just a little way of keeping your teeth clean, inspecting your teeth if you have a toothache, right? Maybe you cut your gums, maybe something happened, being able to see what that is, making sure that you can properly take care of it so that you can make it through the storm before you go to the dentist. Having Orajel to numb it up is a good idea, so make sure you're taking care of your teeth. Having a stethoscope so that you can hear your lungs. Again, you're going to get sick, right? It's winter. Being able to listen to lungs and heart and different things so that you know that if you're having a hard time breathing, it might just be because of your cold or your flu, or it might be pneumonia or bronchitis, and being able to listen to the lungs and hear what's going on is a good idea. And if you pair it with a blood pressure cuff, if you learn how to take your own blood pressure, you can check your blood pressure for different things. If you're really sick and your body is fighting different things, it's going to adjust your blood pressure, right? So if you don't feel good and you're throwing up and you check your blood pressure and your blood pressure is normal, it might just be food poisoning, right? It might be something that's not the cold or the flu, right? Just because you have those symptoms doesn't mean that you can just chalk it off to, well, it is cold and flu season, right? Checking your blood pressure, noticing the variations in your blood pressure can really give you a lot of information. Next is going to be a surgical kit. Now, am I going to be performing open heart surgery? No. Am I going to be removing a tumor? No, right? This isn't going to be something that I'm pulling out and doing real surgery with. But if there's a chunk of wood or glass or something in my arm, it'd be nice if I could get that, whatever that thing is, out, right? It'd be nice to have a sterile equipment that I can use to practice on different things. If my dog gets hurt, being able to take care of my dog because I can't go to the vet. A lot of vets don't even show up to work when the snowstorms are really bad. And so even if I can get to the vet, there's not going to be anybody there, right? So if something happens to my dog, having a kit where I can take care of her, if something really severe happens, just having this on hand. Again, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. This is a same thing, but this is more of a military surplus style kit. I like the blue one better. I like the case and I like the stuff in here a little bit better, but this one is sometimes a little bit cheaper, so I'll leave both in the description box down below. The other thing, a tourniquet. Now, I did not want to add a tourniquet to this because it's not like you can put on a tourniquet and then just wait for the storm to pass and then go to the hospital. When you put on a tourniquet, you don't have a lot of time before you lose that limb, right? But I did add it because it does stop bleeding, right? And so if you have a severe cut that needs stitches, you might I don't want to give, this isn't advice. This is just an idea that I have, and I don't know if it's even that great of an idea, but if you stop the bleeding, it's going to be easier to stitch it up. It's going to be easier to deal with it if it's not gushing out blood. And so that's the only reason I'm adding this. Not because we're actually going to be using this for its intended purposes, but just it's just something that everybody should have, and so I wanted to include it, but I don't think it's good for winter scenarios. The other thing is a stapler. So this is a skin stapler. This isn't like a paper stapler. This is sterile, and it comes preloaded with 55 staples. And so if you can get the tourniquet to stop the bleeding and then staple it up really fast and then remove the tourniquet, that's kind of my thought process behind this. Let me know in the comment section if you think that that's a horrible idea, because it probably is. But 55 staples, and the reason I have this is because I don't know how to sew up a wound. Okay, I've never sewn up a wound before. I've never even practiced. I've never had the opportunity. And so the stapler is going to be a lot easier to use. Also, just knowing myself, knowing who I am as a person, having a stapler is probably going to be a lot easier for me to, like, if I have to have somebody, because I don't have a way of numbing the area. I have no painkillers. I have no numbing agents. I'm going to feel everything, right? And so to have somebody sew me up, that's going to suck, right? It's not going to be a pleasant situation. I feel like with the stapler, having like a 1, 2, 3, okay, that sucked, all right, and then I can kind of get myself prepared, get myself ready, 1, 2, 3, another staple. You know, I just feel like I can handle that situation a lot better than somebody shaking and scared and trying to sew me up and not knowing what they're doing and making mistakes and having to go back and start over. And I don't want to deal with that. I think the stapler is going to be a more mental, it's going to be a more mental available thing, right? Stapling somebody's skin together isn't as scary as using a needle and thread, right? Stapling is going to be one and done, one and done, one and done. Then you can mentally prepare yourself for each staple. And so I think this is the way to go. But again, this stuff you're probably not going to need, right? These are all things, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But when it comes to the thermometers, the painkillers, the burn cream, the medications, even, I forgot this, the eye wash. If you get something in your eye and you need to flush it out, having eye wash is a good idea. The other thing that I have that's kind of gross, but it's really nice to have, is this is a puke bucket. So it's one and only purpose in life. I got it at like the dollar store. It's a very cheap bucket, and that's its only purpose is a puke bucket, because there's a lot of times where somebody doesn't feel good. They have an upset stomach, they feel like they're gonna throw up, and they're upstairs in their room. I have a son, and he's upstairs in his room, and he's sick, and he doesn't feel good, and then I'm trying to find a bucket. I'm trying to find something for him to use in case he throws up, and usually I don't get to the bucket. I don't find a bucket in time. And so having a dedicated bucket means when he doesn't feel good, I go and I grab this. I'm not using this for anything else. This is just for when people are sick. I come, I grab it. No one's looking for it. Nobody's using it. It's just in the closet in our bathroom. I grab it, I bring it to him, and now he has something that he can use. We only have one bathroom. This is a one bathroom house. And so if somebody's in the bathroom and you get sick, having this is really nice. The other thing is when you're sick and you don't feel good, sleeping or laying on the bathroom floor is not comfortable. And it makes you not, I feel like it doesn't help you get any better, right? Being able to go to the couch knowing you're going to be okay, being able to go lay in bed knowing you're going to be okay, I feel is very important. And I feel like it really helps you get better, because instead of laying on the bathroom floor trying to stay up in case you're going to throw up, you can go lay in bed. You can get comfortable. You can fall asleep. You can take a nap. You can do what you need to do to get better. And so even though this is kind of gross, even though I didn't really want to talk about it, I do feel it's important enough to bring up. And I own one, and I think you should too. So in that comment section down below, let me know what I missed. What is some winter first aid things that you keep in your home in case you can't make it to the hospital or the ambulance can't make it to you? Let me know in that comment section. Thumbs up this video if you like this topic, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.